Welcome back to another live edition of the Danny Sancomb Show. It's good to be back in studio. It's been quite a while. The team has played a total of 6 games since the last time we had the show. I mean, we were away for a while due to Christmas break, and now we're back in action. It's been a packed week of games. The team's gone 4-2 over that stretch. We're going to do a little brief recap, but I'd like to introduce Coach Danny Sancomb to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Good to be here, Coach. So last time we were talking here, we were talking about the Carlo game ahead of there to fill in the schedule because it was a big, long break and we wanted to play. Cal comes out top at Carlo, 95-61, a career high from Brent Pegram with 36 points. Then we traveled out to Westchester for PSAC crossover play. They were ranked 14th at the time. They're all the way up to 8 now. Cal nearly erases a 16-point deficit, falls by 1 point. We've seen that a couple times this season, but it was good to see the team battle back. It was definitely a very up-and-down game. And then a Millersville game filled with all types of excitement, double overtime game. Most points Cal's scored in about 5 years in a game, a 106-102 win to head into break, which was a great feeling for the team. Definitely needed that win. Tim Smith Jr. steps up big, sinks 2 3-pointers with 1:11 left in the game, sends it to overtime, and Pegram and Collins come through with 57 points combined for the team to really lead them over the hump. Big win for the break. Wouldn't you agree, Coach?
Yeah, real big. You know, if you look at Millersville record, I think they're 6 or 7-1 at home, and they play hard and they got a good scheme. So to get that right before break was great to have some momentum going into Christmas.
Yeah, so Coach, you know, good time to be home with the family, enjoy some time away, just like for the Thanksgiving. And then we're coming back here on Friday to open up PSAC West play, not really knowing what we're going to get out of it because, you know, both teams have been away for so long, you never know what you're going to get in that first game back in action after such a 13-day break since the Millersville game. But, you know, a very tough UPJ team coming in, tied for the division lead, coached by a good friend of yours.
Yeah, they dominated us. We did not play well, and they did. We had trouble making shots. We had trouble running back. I just don't know if we were ready to play a team at that high of level having 13 days off. And we just weren't fluent with our offense, and we weren't fluent with our defense, and they made us pay, and they did a good job. And they played very well. So the combination of us not playing so well and then playing well resulted in a 20-point loss, which wasn't a lot of fun for us Friday night. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, I got the highlights playing here from the game currently. Like Coach said, pretty much got out to a strong start. As you can see, they got out 24-11 there with about 10 minutes left in the first half. I mean, really got out to a solid lead. I mean, a very well-constructed team. Everybody seems to really know their role, and just a lot of high-efficiency shots came down, and that's what helped them build out to the lead. But, Coach, I mean, you have to agree that your team did try to battle back there in the second half. You know, I think it's that never-quit mentality that this team has really taken on. You know, we've seen so many one-point losses, but in general, this team always battles back.
Yeah, we got a great group of guys. When you have a great group of guys that work hard day in and day out and have pride in what they're doing, even when things aren't going well, you know, you can chip away and chip away. And I try to tell our guys, you know, you're not going to shoot the ball well every night. There's other things you can do that help the team win the game, and ultimately that's the goal, is to win the game. So, you know, maybe it's you're rebounding the ball better, or maybe you're making the pass or the extra pass or getting a steal on defense, whatever it may be. And our guys, you know, just continue to fight, and they're a fun group to coach because they never give up, and they always think they have a chance to win the game.
Yeah. So, Coach, I mean, one positive to take away from this game, it kind of looked like Zion Collins really got back to the player he typically is. We've been talking about his toe injury for a good majority of the early season here. I mean, he comes down with a game-high 17 points, and he scores them all in the second half. So that's a positive sign. How would you say his health is and how his game has improved?
Well, we need him to be aggressive. He can score the basketball. He can assist. You know, he's one of those guys that can put the ball in the basket, but can also make guys around him better. And when he's aggressive, we're a very good basketball team. When he's getting in the lane and making the right basketball decision, I think his toe is something he's going to have to battle the entire year. I think it's going to have some good days. It's going to have some bad days. But I think the mental part and the approach of it, you know, getting reps in practice and taking enough reps off is important. But he knows to get better, he has to practice. But he's played at a high level for us here the last 4 or 5 games. And if we can continue to get that out of him, it's going to be difficult to beat us as we continue to move on in the season.
Yeah, UPJ, I mean, solid performance all around. They shot 50% from the field, 43 to 33 rebounding advantage. So they really controlled the game from start to finish. That rematch is going to be coming up at UPJ on February 5th, 7:30. So I'm sure the team's looking forward to that rematch and trying to avenge that loss there. Coach, I mean, it was a season-low shooting performance from the floor. So, I mean, that attributes to the 20-point loss. But what's the message to the team following a tough loss like that when, we're about to play another 3 games in the span of about a week?
To move on. We can't do anything about Friday night. We need to start worrying about Monday night. That was the message when we left on Friday, and we wanted to have a good practice on Saturday, which we did. You can't go back and change things. You need to watch it so you move forward. You're not making the same mistakes. But you got to have a short memory when you're in sports. Good, bad. I tell guys when they play great, after the game, it's over with. It's over with. You got to get ready for the next game. That's the most important thing. And our approach from our coaching staff to our players is one game at a time. Move on. Let's forget about what happened, good or bad, when we go into practice the next day, and we're moving on thinking about the next game.
Yeah, Coach, so let's move forward and talk about Monday's game, January 6th against Slippery Rock. I mean, what a complete shootout in Moreau Fieldhouse. I mean, it was pretty much coming up and down the floor, both teams shooting lights out. Back and forth game until Rock built a 89-76 lead with 3:50 left in the half. The timeout's called. What's the message to your team at that point in the game? We're down 13 points.
Well, we talked about we want to chip away. We want to get good shots each time down the court, and we have to try to put some stops together. They would not miss. I think they shot 70% in the second half, and they had some good looks, but they had some shots that were tough. That's hard to shoot 70%. And I thought we were able to get into our press a little bit and create some turnovers and speed them up a little bit. And we were able to get stops the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And then we took good shots, but we got hot. We got open, and guys knocked down some threes. So that 13-point lead, we cut down to like 6 pretty quickly. I think we had 2 threes back-to-back in possessions, which, I think put enough pressure on them to make them think about the game, and our guys just kept fighting. They're a really talented basketball team, so to go on the road and win there was a big win for us.
Yeah, we appreciate our director, Gary Smith, putting together these highlights. Thanks for Slippery Rock for the video from the game as we see the first half playing out on the highlights here. Coach, like you said, we responded with a 13-0 rally in that game. Slippery Rock, you held them to 1 shot during that final span of the game, and they had 3 turnovers. And like you said, pretty much ties up the game here late. Pegram hits a 3, House hits a 3, and then Pegram comes back and ties it at 89-89 with 1:14 left to play. Slippery Rock, they end up taking the lead at the line 2 different times. Zion Collins comes through with a 3-point play that definitely puts the pressure on Slippery Rock to at least find points. Luke House, late foul with about 4.3 seconds left in that game. You had a timeout in the pocket, according to the score book there, and then Brent Pegram, as we're going to watch this play out towards the end here, Brent Pegram's going to come down and make a miraculous, unbelievable shot. As we can see him, he hits that 3 there that really puts you within about 6 points. House comes through here again, and then we're going to see the next highlight of Brent just popping up and hitting the 3 there, and it's set to 89-89, and then Zion Collins right here comes through with a 3-point play, really puts the pressure on here, and then we're going to listen in to our reporter here with the final call of this game.
3, 2, 1. It's Pegram putting up a floater. Oh, he gets it to go!
And it counts!
They win the game on an absolutely bonkers shot there for Pegram. And he's on his way over to the bench to celebrate in the hat.
Yeah, thanks to Colin Kirkwood and TK for that call there. Appreciate them going out and giving the radio call. Now, Coach, you said you were getting a lot of, flack from social media saying, for that celebration, but I like the comment someone made that no one wants to win more than you.
Well, I don't think it's me. I think it's our guys. I've been blessed over my coaching career to be around winners, and winners find a way to get things done all the time. And we've got a lot of winners on our team, and it's fun to coach. They never quit. To be down that many points with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, and they just keep fighting and chipping away, fighting. A lot of people who I don't think are winners, throw in the towel and say it's not our night tonight, but our guys battled back, and we were able to, Brent Pegram was able to make a big-time play, and to win games like that, you need to make, at some point in the game, there's a big-time play that usually separates the teams. That just happened to be on the last possession of the game.
Now, did you have a timeout there, or did you just feel confident
I
in that
don't like
play?
calling timeouts where defense can get set up at that point in time. We did not have any more timeouts. We were out of timeouts anyways. The only thing we did do well there is Brent caught a little bit too close to our baseline. I like to got him catching the ball going towards the other basket, but 4.3 seconds with him, he can get the length of the court. He's that fast. So we knew we could get a shot. We had guys spread out if he could kick it. And he made a heck of a shot for us.
Yeah, that snaps a 10-game road losing streak at Slippery Rock, and that's the first win there at Monroe Fieldhouse since 2010. Quite a streak to snap. Brent Pegram, a game high, 30 points, 8 of 13 from beyond the arc. So, he was really feeling it, and that was his third in his last 5 games with at least 30 points. So he's been really on lately. Heading into last night's game, he was leading the PSAC West in scoring with 20.5 points. And then, Coach, you really had to rely on the freshmen a lot against Slippery Rock. I think they really came through for you. They combined for 42 points, and House led that group, I think, with 18 points.
Yeah, we got a great group of freshmen. Luke has been steady all year. He has the ability to make shots, put the ball on the floor, and score. He just continues to get better. Tim Smith is really stepping up and playing well for us right now, offensively, defensively. He brings a lot to the table. He's going to continue to get better offensively. We want him to stay aggressive. He has the ability to make threes. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor. Does a really good job. Phil Austin really is coming into his own. He rebounds the ball. He can score the basketball. He can shoot it. He can put it on the floor. He's a tremendous athlete. And then we're getting Baba back with his thumb injury, who has the ability to score, rebound for us, and bring toughness. So that group right there, along with Tyler, has been very, very good for us the entire year. And, we talked to those guys at the beginning of the year. We can't act and behave and play like freshmen. We need you guys to somehow trick yourselves to believe you guys are sophomores. And they've been very solid for us thus far. And I hope it continues with their confidence growing, that they'll get better and better as the year goes.
Yeah, I've had to print out the stat sheet here. It was such a big game. But Luke House, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, really complete line. Tim Smith gave you 11 and 3 rebounds, 11 points from Phil Alston. And then even Tyler Berry, although he had 2 points, came up with some pretty big offensive boards and had 3 rebounds in that game.
Well, you think with Tyler is, you get Brent, who picks his second foul up with about 10 and a half minutes left in the first half. And, we're thinking, well, we're going to have to put him back in. Do we need him put back in? And Tyler comes in and plays unbelievable. And we go into halftime with a 4 or 5 point lead. And he did a great job for us. And I think, I've got to find a way to get him out there a little bit more because he's been very solid for us.
Now let's talk about a player on Slippery Rock's team, Micah Till. He's a great player, a 2-time All-Region recipient, the first team conference player. You limited him to 12 points after he just came off a double-double versus Clarion. What was the game plan going in there?
He's a unique player. He has the ability. He's so big and strong, and he's so skilled. He can beat you from the three. He can beat you by putting the ball on the floor, and he can beat you in the post, and he can kill you on offensive rebounding. We just wanted to work hard, try to push him off the block a little bit, force him to take contested shots, limit his layups, and limit his shot attempts. He's a great passer, not a good passer. So we know you have to give some things up, and we did. But he's a great player. So great players, make you do a couple things you don't want to do defensively, but you have to be able to stop him. So I think holding him to 6 shots was great for us.
Yeah, I liked your comment from Millersville on Twitter. You said, our guys never give up. They didn't give up in this game. They came through with a very big win, a much-needed win. Cal U shoots 52.1% from the field, 43% from beyond the arc, 19 points off turnovers, 18 second chance points, a very complete game. And got to credit Slippery Rock. They shot 63.6% from beyond the arc. They really kept the game close throughout, 14 fast break points, 26 points in the paint. We're going to take a break here on the Danny Sancomb Show. We're going to come back. We're going to look at the highlights from the Shepherd game last night, preview the upcoming game against Edinboro, and look at the standings and the upcoming schedule. We'll be right back with the Danny Sancomb Show.
Believing in dreams inspires the Globetrotter in all of us. If you want to be the best, you have to push the limits. See the one and only original Harlem Globetrotters all-new Pushing the Limits World Tour. With new high-flying stunts, a new record-breaking attempt, and laugh-out-loud entertainment for the whole family.
The Harlem Globetrotters playing at Cal U Convocation Center next Thursday, January 9th. Tickets are selling fast. Visit harlemglobetrotters.com.
Have you seen the new Cal U Vulcan logo around? Have you wondered where to get gear featuring it? Then go to calvulcans.com and click shop. Log on and browse a full selection of men's shirts, women's shirts, pullovers, hoodies, and more. All items feature customization with the new Cal U Vulcan logo and wordmark. The site also features a full selection of hats, tailgating items, and accessories. Don't be the last person to sport new Cal U Vulcan gear. Go to calvulcans.com today.
Pride and passion drives the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. From 55 NCAA championship teams, 294 individual national champs, and counting. Who's next? Make the PSAC yours. PSAC Proud is winning in athletics and in the classroom. Over 3,100 PSAC student athletes are honored as scholar athletes. It's a perfect mix of athletics and academics. It's time to make the PSAC yours.
Welcome back to the Danny Sancomb Show. Make sure to hit the bell notification and subscribe to CUTV Sports 1 so you know when we're live here with the coaches' shows. Coach, thanks for being here in studio. We both had a late night last night because we were at a doubleheader basketball game against Shepherd, and we come out with a win, 74-61. Shepherd making their first trip to Cal U since 2010, and that's only the third meeting between the team in this decade. And I mean, coming into that game, you viewed a team that could really shoot the three well. They were leading the conference in three-pointers made, and really protected the ball. Very few turnovers.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience for Shepherd, being in the same conference with them for a long time, and it was kind of nice to have some familiarity with the teams. I'm still trying to figure out some of these PSAC teams because we've only been here for a year, but they shoot the three exceptionally well, and they do it from 5 or 6 guys, which makes it difficult, and they do take care of the basketball. So our goal going into the game was to, force contested shots, not to give up open looks, and I thought in the first half we did an unbelievable job with that, limiting their open looks. And I think second half, they hurt us a little bit and got open looks, and when you give a team like that open looks and guys are shooting 44, 43% from the three, they knock them down, and they were able to chip away and make that game a little closer than I would have liked.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the highlights. They come out, score the initial 5 points of that game, and then your team responds with a 19-0 run over 8+ minutes, made 8 of 18 from the field, and Shepherd really just couldn't get it going. They missed 12 straight shots during that stretch. You were able to stretch the lead there to 27-7 with 7:33 left in the game, left in the first half, after 8 consecutive points. And you go into halftime with a pretty comfortable lead, 42-24. I mean, what's the message to the team when you're up that big? You definitely want to keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah, we talked about the start of the second half, jumping on them and trying to put the game away, and we did. We started the second half good, and our guys, responded. I was really happy. Like I said, our defense in the first half was great. To hold them to 24 points and a half, that you've got to play well to be able to do that. And we knew they would make shots at some point in the game. We just wanted to get off to a good start in the second half, which we did. But then, from about the 16-minute mark to the 8-minute mark, 5-minute mark, we weren't very good.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you did come out strong in the second half. It was a 55-33 lead with about 13:30 left, and then they come through with a 20-3 rally. Really closed the gap, shooting extremely well. They went 8 of 9 from the floor and made 4 3-pointers, and then they even ended up working the deficit down to 6 points. They were cut the lead to 64-58 with 4:33 left to play. And then it seemed like you really went to Zion Collins in that final 4 minutes. It was a 10-3 run. He scored 6 of those points. It seems like you worked the shot clock down with Brent in control and really wanted to get Zion to the hoop.
Yeah, and we wanted to space it and let Zion make good basketball decisions, whether it's scoring or whether it was dishing. We feel confident in him, and our execution was really, really good the last 5 minutes of the game, and I just can't figure out where from 13-minute mark to the 4.5 minute mark, we were bad. And then we were able to put it back together the last 4.5 minutes and execute at a high level. And when that's for us to move on to the next level that we want to, we have to not have that long of a period where we're not playing well. And we can't let a team go 8 for 9 in that stretch. You got to come up with some stops. When you're not executing well offensively, you can't let it affect your defense. And some of the shots that they were able to get where we didn't get back in transition, we didn't have good coverage getting back, and they made us pay. So we got to clean that stuff up and do it for 40 minutes. We did it really, really well, for the first 20 minutes and really the first 27 minutes of the game. But then that 5-minute stretch, you can't let a team go on a 20-3 run. Usually if that happens, you lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those interesting games where the refs were really just letting everybody play. I think there was like 8 total foul shots in the entire game. So, you were able to get on those great runs, and then they were able to get on a great run in the second half, and there was just nothing really stopping the flow for either team in that game. It was one of those games that, you really just had to be physical under the hoop, and if you got the shot, it went, and if you didn't, it didn't go.
Yeah, I like that. I like when the officials, let the teams play, and I think both teams were being aggressive, but both teams do a good job usually of not fouling either. So, Shepherd, they play good defense without fouling, and we try to preach that with our guys as well, to play good defense without fouling. And I think they took 3 foul shots the entire game, which is great. I mean, if you're not fouling and letting teams get to the line, you have a chance to win the game.
Yeah, I think 22 total fouls in the game, so not a lot of chances there for any team to either get in the bonus and even get a 1-and-1. Zion Collins, game high, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 10 of 17 from the field, very efficient all night, and really got to the basket all night. Pegram, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and even got a block. And then House, 15 points, 7 rebounds. He shot another very solid performance from Luke House, 6 of 10 from the field. You can really feel his confidence starting to grow. And then Tim Smith making a consecutive start, second start in a row for him, 9 points, 12 rebounds, really got done on the boards, got 10 defensive rebounds. What's it like seeing a good performance from both of those freshmen again? House, another solid performance back-to-back. Seems like he's really getting it going. And then Tim Smith continues to step up. I think you would agree that he probably wants to make some improvements on the defensive end. Yeah,
both of those guys are extremely talented, and they're going to continue to get better as we move on and their confidence grows. And, like I said, those 2 guys have the ability to score the basketball in a lot of different ways. They can make shots, they can put it on the floor. Both of those guys have the ability also to make guys around them better because they can pass the basketball. Luke is a very good position defender when he's off the ball. Tim is a guy that gives us somebody that can protect the rim. He blocks shots with his length and can make some shots difficult. And those guys didn't play like freshmen last night, and we need them to continue to play like that.
Yeah, 46.8% from the field in the game, 40% from three-point range, 30 points in the paint. Continue to work it down there, and 68 points from your starters, so only 6 points from the bench. But Coach, talk about the depth right now. I mean, we've been talking in the past about injuries, and it's starting to creep up now that we're playing with a much more limited bench at this moment.
Yeah, well, with Phil Alexander has an injured knee, so we don't know what the injury is exactly, other than he's not able to play at this point in time, and that hurts us because he gives us the ability to stretch the floor. He's great in our 5-out, moving without the ball. So, and he's an experienced player for us. So not having him playing is difficult. And then Phil Alston, who's really starting to come into his own, played great against Slippery Rock, and then gets off to a great start versus Shepherd. We make a great run when he comes into the game. He was a part of that first run, rolls his ankle in the first half, and we weren't able to use him in the second half. The good thing is I think Bob is starting to come back, so we were able to use him a little bit in the second half with his thumb injury. I think that's getting, I don't say it's better, but I think it's where it's tolerable, where he thinks he can play. So, and he's a starter. He started 2 games for us and earlier in the year, and so we can get him back. That'll help, but it'll be nice, and we will at some point have everybody. I know we will. And then I think our depth will be where we wanted to have it. And I think you'll see us play 9 guys in a game, close to 10 minutes. Everybody will play at that point in time.
Yeah, strong second half from Shepherd, 53.5% in the second half, so really helped them close the gap. wasn't really able to get much production from their bench, only 3 points and 10 points off turnovers, so very solid performance all around. We'll take a look here at the PSAC standings currently after a very long week of conference play here. IUP, Pitt, Johnstown continue to sit up top. IUP ranked 9th in the nation currently, 12-1, sitting at 7-1 there. Cal U keeping pace though, 5-3, tied with Mercyhurst and Gannon, our 2 schools up in Erie. But Cal U 9-5, very strong right now. Slippery Rock, as coach, we were talking before the show, they're going to get it going here pretty soon. 6-8, 2-6 in conference. They kept it close there with IUP last night, and Edinboro coming here on Saturday, sitting at 5-7, 2-6 in conference. A 3-point loss to the conference leaders there in Pitt Johnstown. So Shippensburg also coming in with an upset victory over Westchester, 73-70. Like we said, IUP beat Slippery Rock 78-74. Pitt Johnstown coming away with a win over Edinboro, 86-83. We'll look at the East standings here. Westchester up top at 7-1, now tied with Shippensburg, because Shippensburg came away with a big win over Westchester, as we just said, the upset win over Westchester, 79-70. And then, it's pretty tied up there at the bottom. East Stroudsburg, Millersville, Kutztown, Bloomsburg, all in the conversation currently. Bloomsburg with a big win over East Stroudsburg, 87-75. That's only their second win against East Stroudsburg in the last 15 meetings. So very big win for Bloomsburg. And Mercyhurst over back in the West with a big win, 86-52. And then, Coach, we're going to look at the upcoming schedule here as we head into very continuing long stretch of the season here, as we're going to play our 4th game in 8 days as Edinboro comes here for a 3 p.m. game. CUTV WCAL is going to be on the call for the next 5 games. We appreciate the coverage from them. And then we're going to be traveling out to Greensboro against Seton Hill at 7:30. Big game against IUP on the weekend at 7:30 as well. Heading up to Erie and then back home for Mercyhurst, but quite a stretch coming up here, Coach. We talked about 3 road games and how important, we can't look too far ahead, but how important Edinboro is.
Yeah, that's the only game we're worried about right now, Saturday at 3 o'clock being ready to play versus Edinboro. Obviously, in this conference, night in and night out, you're going to play great teams, so you're going to have to be ready to play. So we can't look at IUP, we can't look at Mercyhurst, we can't look down the road at Gannon. We've got to take one game at a time, and our focus has to be on Edinboro, and that's where it will be.
Yeah, Coach, I mean, after the Shepherd game, and we're talking about Cal U surpasses their win total from last season. I know that wasn't probably a big goal for you. It's much higher goals than last season, but it's good to see that things are progressing quickly for this team, 4-1 at home, and that we've won 3 of our last 4 games. Let's talk about an Edinboro team that last year we split the series at. We got that huge win over the break last year, a 90-66 win, and they come here and beat us by just 4 points. 5-7 team, 2-6, but wins over Kutztown and Shepherd, a very solid team, still on paper.
Oh, they're good. I mean, their perimeter players can score the ball. Their post players can score. They have some weapons. If they're making shots and executing, they're a tough team to beat. Obviously, you saw they played Pitt Johnstown to the wire. So we're going to have to be ready to defend. We're going to have to be able to defend, and we're going to have to be ready to rebound the basketball. Those are 2 things that I think we're getting better in slowly but surely. We have to continue to get better in those areas if we want to beat teams in our conference.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that seems like they're just ready to get over the hump and just don't know when that's going to happen. It could happen here soon. They got to win over Kutztown to get a conference win there, and then they got to win over Shepherd by 1 point. 2 very close games, but 4-1 start to the season. They've fallen in 7 of their last 8, but been right there in all those games. Team that's weaknesses are, they're turning it over a little too much, being outscored quite a bit, low assist numbers, so seem like a team that really wants to get up the court and catch and shoot the ball. Like Coach said, the perimeter players, let's talk about them a little bit. Pretty much the 2 guys to look at, Anthony Coleman and Simpson on the perimeter. Very solid players. Anthony Coleman only played about 6 games last year before they lost him for the year. He got a medical red shirt. He's back this year. He's an all-conference caliber. Both of them are all-conference caliber guards. He's averaging 19.4 points, 5.8 rebounds. Very solid player.
Yeah, he can do it all. He can make shots off the dribble. He can catch and shoot. He can put it on the floor, finish the mid-range, and he can put the ball on the floor and attack the rim. So we'll have to be ready to defend him. And Simpson is equally as good. He comes off screens, and if he gets it going, is very good offensively. He makes shots.
His development got pushed quite forward last year once Coleman went down, he really had to step into a leadership role as only a sophomore, and he came away with an all-conference second-team vote, and then he's been 15 points this season, about 6 rebounds a game, shooting well from beyond the arc. Both those guys playing extensive minutes for the team, about 35 minutes a game. So expect to see them out on the court all game long. Shooting the ball well, grabbing boards, doing a very effective job. You know, it's going to be a big game here coming up here. We appreciate CUTV and WCAL coming out for this game. It's going to be Saturday, January 11th. We want to see you at the Convocation Center here at 3 p.m. The women will be playing at 1. That's a very big game for the women as well. Typically, you know, there've been a lot of great matchups between Edinboro and Cal on both the men's and women's side. If you can't tune in, go to 91.9 FM WCAL. You can listen on the radio on the drive-in if you're running a little late, or you can watch it on CUTV Sports 1 at calvulcans.com. Coach, I really appreciate you coming out here today. Make sure you hit the bell notification and subscribe to CUTV Sports 1 for all your updates on Cal U basketball. And we'll see you next week with the Danny Sancomb Show. We'll try to bring a couple players in. We wanted to let them sleep in today after a big win. Before Coach hits the road here for a 3-game stretch, we'll try to get him back in studio, and we'll discuss that long stretch ahead for the team. We will see you next time on the Danny Sancomb Show.